Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rocket League Premier Circuit. My name is Quantum Deathcat, and I'm back here with Glyphs. And we've got the Cobras and Ascension, two teams that are 4-6. Both teams underperforming from what we thought they'd be doing this season. And Glyphs, talk to me more about this underperformance from both sides here.
Well, to be honest, I don't know a ton about it, but I mean, I know that last season, Ascension did really well. They were able to get to the finals just off of the roster that they had, and they had the same roster this season, actually. And another good player, I believe it was Slice, and they were supposed to go pretty far in this league, especially this season. They have the same roster. They were supposed to go almost, I believe it was supposed to go almost into the finals, supposedly, based off of the power rankings, and they ended up doing a little bit worse on that, game win streak, you know?
A little bit worse indeed. They are third last in shots per game. So they have a real offensive issue right now. And when you're saying that a team with Slice, JD, and everyone else on that team, Swig and Swift, having offensive issues, there's a problem.
Yeah, there might be something there that doesn't work out if we're seeing players like that who aren't able to do what they're normally able to do. These players are really good. They're also really offensive, so it's gonna be a weird one to see. I expect to see a lot out of those players this game, especially, but I don't know with tides that have happened in the past in their game win streak that we're going to see much like that.
Now, there is the biggest issue that I see is that Slice is stuck in the defensive zone nearly all game with 2.5 saves per game on average. And he doesn't even have half a goal per game on average. He has more assists per game than goals per game. And that seems like the biggest issue right now for this team is that Slice just can't seem to find the back of the net, and he's stuck in his defensive zone, while everyone else, I mean, this entire Ascension team looks like they're based off of defense purely and nothing else. 2 saves per game for Swift, 1.33 saves per game for Swig, and 1.57 for JD. That's very impressive, but in the wrong way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, defense does win games, but you also need a bit of offense to make sure that you can win those games. And we're going to need to see them pull out some amazing offense this game, or they're going to end up losing the series. Same thing goes with the other side on the Cobra side of the field, though, and it's going to be a hard one either way.
Yes, I said that the Ascension were the third worst in shots per game. Well, Cobras are the fourth worst, but they have over 2 goals per game. Meanwhile, Ascension are second to last in goals per game. And the only team that's below them are the 0-10 Lions, who are in a league of their own in their suckiness this season.
Oh, dang, you definitely have to call them out. But we definitely would like to see a little bit more coming out from Ascension and Cobras this game. And we're going to have to see if they step it up for this match as we see the players hopping in.
Yes, they are finally hopping in. We are late by 15 minutes, but all is good. We will see game number 1, which goes underway very shortly indeed. The Cobras will be in yellow, Ascension in white. Game 1 underway. What do you think coming into this series it's going to produce? Because right now, the Ascension are on a 4-game losing streak. Meanwhile, the Cobras have been underachieving all season long, though they have been getting a few wins here and there, unlike the Ascension in the last few weeks.
You know, I'd love to see Ascension come out and have a lot of offense. We're seeing a lot of offense right now, actually. We're seeing a lot of pressure being put on by Ascension. But I think that the Cobras are going to end up having more offensive pressure. I think that the Ascension is stuck in that defense wins games mindset, and they're going to need to come out of this, honestly. Well, what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I like to think that this game is going to go the way of the Ascension, mostly because Slice isn't playing this game, but Frost Tiger puts it in after almost a save there. Bits getting it off the corner there, and I think this is JD almost making that save. So last season, as I was about to say, Ascension had Swig, Swift, and JD on the same team, and they were doing terrifically on their own. Slice, of course, being the MVP last season, especially in the playoffs. Right now, he's not playing this game, and that might cause either two things. One, Ascension are going to play like they did last season, with that kind of chemistry that they already have together, or they're going to play even worse than they have been in this little stretch that they've had.
Yeah, I'd like to see, especially with this winning roster that they had last season, the same roster that we've seen actually from that game. From that season, I'm sorry. I'd like to see them put on that pressure that they had before and put on that offensive scoring opportunity that they had before Slice was in the option. And I'd love to see it, but right now it's looking like the Cobras are really putting on some stuff in the scoreboard.
Tiger, and Bits almost puts it in there. That's a triple commit on defense. And JD, in no man's land, not sure what to do. He just stood there in the zone and stood there for a solid 5 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. They can't talk about that miss there from Bits. That was almost a surefire goal if he was able to even hit that ball in. I'm pretty sure there wasn't much people there on defense, and Bits wasn't able to capitalize, which is something that we've seen a lot of teams struggle with, and it's a hard thing to do. But if they can capitalize on that, we're going to see a little bit more goals coming out from the Cobras.
Yes, indeed. JD with the save there on C's. Talking about Cobras, though, that team, just like Ascension, has stayed relatively the same. Frost Tiger, Bits, and C's were on this roster that went 14-4 last season, and they're currently 4-6. In 10 games, they have more losses than they did in 18 last season.
Yeah, that's crazy. You always don't like to see the new roster changes. I mean, there also could be some stuff going into it. The MMR cap did raise to put this competition a little higher, and that might have had an effect into it. But these teams were both top competing, and it's hard to see this team, especially with the same exact roster, especially on Ascension, that they're not putting on the pressure that they did last season. And it always leads you to wonder why it's happening, especially if nothing has really changed since last season.
I do believe Ascension last season went 10-8 for their season, and they were really good. It's just that they were outperformed by a few teams that were higher than them, such as the Ducks, Cobras, and Flames last season. But this season, they're just being outperformed by everyone, including the likes of the Bulls, the Sharks they've lost to, and listen, those are teams you need to win against. Those are teams you're trying to beat for a playoff spot.
Yeah, definitely. These teams, playoffs are really all that this league comes down to. There's not much that you can do in this league if you're not trying to win at all costs, and the playoffs are the best way you can get there. The Major League is especially the most hard league that you could do, obviously, and the hardest to get to playoffs in as well. But these teams have gotten there before, and they're able to do it, and they've proved it. But their play style or something has changed, and they're not the same team that they were in the past.
I don't think that's as you said. The MMR cap has raised, but both these teams were extremely good. And Ascension adding Slice, it should have been a slam dunk for this team to make the playoffs. Considering that even though they got beaten in the first round of the playoffs, right, by the Flames, they were still there. They were still one of the best teams. They were fourth for more than half of the season in the power rankings. And that shot just goes through and it hits the post. And a 1v1 situation between Swift and C's here. It's going to go C's way. Tied at 1 currently. Right now, what we see is not the same Cobras and not the same Ascension team that we saw last season. Especially with the addition of Slice. We've been expecting a lot more from this Ascension team. And the Cobra team that went 14-4 is really underperforming as well. And I don't know what's been wrong with both of these teams.
Yeah, definitely. But also then, you got to take into the fact that these teams are keeping it at overtime. These teams are really even so far, and they might have ironed some stuff out for this game. And it's going to be a decider of the next goal. Who gets to go into the next game with the winner?
Don't forget that the Cobras were considered the best, one of the top 3 best teams last season. And Ascension, for the longest time, were number 4 as JD puts it off the post there. And game 1 continues as that shot is so close to going in.
That was a very close one. Just hard to get that kind of an angle to put that in from that hard of a spot. But JD almost showing me what my words were at right there, and luckily for the Cobras, it wasn't able to go in, but it bounced off very scarily and almost made a mistake on the Cobras defense and let a goal go up.
Oh, save by Bits there, as, not Bits, my bad, C's, who pinched it off of his post. After Bits made the save, it flew towards the front of the net, and C's was able to pinch it out, and this game remains deadlocked.
Not just deadlocked, this team has been going back and forth. These players...
Oh, finally one that goes off the post, and the rebound is finally found. We got our first win of the series, and it goes to Ascension.
Yeah, very bad timing by me, especially to talk about this. But these teams have been going back and forth. They've been seeming really even, honestly, and I think that we're going to get a little bit of a server reset going on here. But these teams have been super even, and they're able to make sure that they could keep playing off of the other team. However, they might not have been as good as they were in the last season that they played. These teams are still really good. They made it into the playoffs, and they were able to keep the score at 1-1 for a super long time.
Yeah, exactly. And they played really good. What? I think we didn't notice that. We even talked about leaving the server and remaking it. Are you not listening to our cast?
You better be listening to our cast.
Yeah, you better be. We're down your ear the entire time.
Yeah, and we're super nice, and we're making fun of you the entire time.
Yeah. Nope, not in my vocabulary.
And neither does any of the teams that we're watching play.
What are you talking about? That was extremely nice to watch. I'm sure it wasn't a nice experience for either team. That must have been stressful. A lot of sweat going down their backs there.
I don't know if I would go into that much detail of sweat going down your backs. That's kind of gross. But definitely a very stressful one to watch.
It was pretty stressful to watch, but imagine how stressful it was to play. Game 1 went the way of the Ascension in overtime after a minute and a half. And game number 2 will be starting up fairly shortly, I assume.
Hopefully fairly shortly. But I do have to ask you, who is your MVP of that game so far? We saw game 1 play out. Probably most of the stream jitters are gone. And who do you think is going to end up winning this?
Oh, well, C's was playing such a good defensive game there. He had so many saves, and 2 of them were on the goal line. And honestly, that was pretty intense on his end. But he just couldn't get his team the victory at the end of the day because they needed the goal. And he stopped the Ascension from getting the goal that they needed, but the Cobras just could not put it in themselves. There's no real MVP on my end right now. There's no one who's really stood out more than any of the others, especially after only one game. You can't really call out an MVP. I will say that I like the play out of all 6 players so far, and we will continue to enjoy watching sweat being absorbed by their shirts.
Yeah, definitely. The 3 S's. We got Swift, Sweat, and C's as we hop into the next game.
Well, that's really funny you say that because Ascension actually have Swift, Swig, and Slice on their team.
Oh, you're right.
That could be the triple S line right there. Except Slice not playing today. Instead, JD decided to come and ruin the party, you know?
Yeah, definitely, but he's definitely not ruining it for the game. He's been overperforming for a lot of things. We're seeing a lot of redirects and stuff coming out from him.
A lot of double taps.
A lot of double taps coming out from Swig, especially Swig. That was pretty nuts. I can't even lie. That was perfectly placed there by Swig. I think that we're trying to get another server reset by C's. And we might see another thing coming. I'm not sure if we can do that now that the goal was scored.
Yeah, goal scored. It can't change, and JD's got to make it 2-0. They can complain all they want, but the game needs to be played now, even though the server is even worse than it was before, even though they had 20 ping last time. I don't understand why they're complaining.
Yeah, I don't either. I think both teams know that rule, and it ended up being that. But either way, you can't do much. Rocket League servers have always been bad, and it's not a server for Rocket League if it's not bad, especially not plays like that. Wow, that must be ping, because I can't imagine seeing that in real life.
Yeah, and Teddy, I think I have to agree with you there. You don't think that's the server that's bad?
It's definitely, yeah. You know, that's fair. The server always ends up bad. But, you know, that play was not the greatest either. I've seen a little bit better plays coming out, a little bit of a miscommunication. We saw another one there by JD, just a little bit too wide of the pass. And we're going to need to see a little bit tidying up of both teams' side of the play.
And there you go. You got, from the Cobra side of the play, you got Z's there reading that perfectly. As he passes it up, and Frost Tiger just puts it down for him. What a beautiful passing play.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a little bit of that tidying up I was trying to talk about. We get some pass plays in here, a little bit of the pass plays coming out from Ascension, but just wide. And if they can start putting that back up, they're gonna end up leading the scoreboard. But the Cobras also don't want that to happen. They're putting up pass plays themselves, and it's working out for them too.
Now, Bits. We were talking about the Fantasy League earlier. I don't know if you remember that, but
Indeed.
And Bits is actually considered one of the better players as well. He is currently second in the fantasy scoring, and even if he does bad this game, I assume that he'd still be number 2, because that's how much of an advantage he has over his competitors in 3rd place.
Yeah, exactly, and that's also another fun thing to compete for. Not only are these teams competing to be the best in the league, not only are they competing to win the championship, they're also competing for fantasy sports. We're seeing some players putting their bets on them, making sure that they think that they are going to win, and that these players have to be able to improve and show that they're ready to win, try and get picked as much as possible, and it's a fun thing to add for the players especially.
So if you think about it, Bits is the best major player, considering his current fantasy stats. He's ahead of Alexi, Gatman, and people like Draftee. But the person ahead of him is a AAA player named Pack, who plays for the Tundra, and he's been playing quite amazingly so far this season.
Always love to see that a player from another league gets first in the Major League playoffs. Wow, but Bits showing exactly what's gonna happen if you're the best Major League player in the league. You're gonna get crazy plays like that. Completely faked out Swift right there. Went to the far right and it shot perfectly into the goal, and he gets an amazing goal to tie up the scoreboard.
Yeah. Talk to you a little bit more about Pack. What is it? He is the best current AAA player, and he's been doing very well in the AAA indeed. Doing very good for himself as Ascension untie the game just as quickly as the Cobras were able to tie it there. Swede gets it past C's by an absolute fake, and he passes it over to JD, who I believe just wanted to steal it, and JD gives him the great pass to his own teammate. He's giving banter to his own teammate. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You can't pass off the almost triple S offense, you know? Gotta love the triple S. The sound of it is very nice. It rolls off the tongue, but JD had to come along and ruin it. Speaking of ruining things, we see C's right there ruining that play, and we're seeing a lot of interceptions coming out from him in this series, and I'm starting to like it. C's has really been up there in the opponent's face, especially on defense, making sure that the team does not know what to do. We see another block right there. I mean, C's is showing what he can do.
What a shot placement by Bits there. He reads that perfectly after C's wins 2 50s in a row, and Bits reads this and just puts it top corner. There's no way you can save that unless he misses his shot placement there, and he did not.
You know, I have a pretty good feeling that people with bits in their fantasy lineup are gonna be pretty happy after this match right here. It's gonna be a pretty good one, I'm assuming. But we also can't forget that there's a lot of other players with a lot of other things in the fantasy league, especially, and it could not be too well for people who have players like the Ascension team right now. Right now, they're not scoring too well, especially with Swift. He has no goals, but he has assists and saves. And we're going to need to see a little bit more goals coming out from him if they want to win this game.
Yeah, exactly. You pop out a lot more, and when the public can see, oh, well, he's been doing really good, and it shows. Look at the fantasy, you know? He's got over 1,000 fantasy points. He's got to be really good, right? And you can say that about many players, right? You can say that about playmakers of the really good players as well. They have more points than the scorers themselves. Oh, that's just why Frost Tiger tries for the double tap there off the back wall. It almost turned into a triple tap as he missed it and didn't know what to do with it afterwards.
Yeah, I'd love to see a triple tap from the clip perspective of me. Just love seeing that freestyle type of play, but unfortunately it's not going to be that comes down to the winning goal of this game, and we're seeing the clock turn down to 11 seconds, and it's tied. These teams are at a deadlock. They're stuck, and they're going back and forth, and they cannot pick who's going to win this game.
There is a deadlock indeed, but it's an offensive deadlock. And not like the first game where it was tied at 1, and we weren't sure really who was better offensively and defensively. This time around, we know that both teams are really well equipped against each other, and all you need is that one play, that one mistake from the other side, and you know that the offense will take full advantage of a mistake on your end.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you could take advantage of mistakes on any end, that's going to end up in a score. That being a ones man myself, that's the one thing that you're taught as you're trying to learn the game. If you can make people make mistakes and then capitalize on them, you're going to make goals. And that same thing applies to every single thing here. At every game mode, you're trying to make the other team make mistakes. And we're seeing a lot of mistakes happening and not a lot of almost capitalization on those plays.
Well, in the first game, there was not a lot of capitalization by the forced mistakes. But right now, that's a nice one, and that's a great save and great position by C's. If there was a bump on that play, forcing a mistake, that would have not been stopped. But Frost Tiger there, off his crossbar, making a save there. And the Cobras don't really seem to show up when it comes to overtime so far. Both overtimes, they have not been whatsoever in the Ascension zone. They just can't find anything, and they're just coiled up in their own end.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Cobras, they had to start putting up some more offense. You know, the step it to the gas kind of plays. They're seeing a little bit more shots coming out from Ascension. Swig with 5 shots by himself. This Ascension really showing that they're going to put the pedal to the metal and start putting some goals on the scoreboard.
Oh, no, what a save by Frost Tiger. The game doesn't even give it to him. And what a save there by him after Bits tried to stop it. He just misread it, and Ascension have been faking everyone left, right, and center, especially in this overtime. And Frost Tiger went for a demo attempt. That went sour as Sweek came out of the net, and that forced a bad touch, and now it's cleared out.
Yeah, I know. That scared me. I especially love to see the fake attempt coming out from the players on Ascension, trying to get something for the clips right there, and trying to put it into the score and make it efficient. There's always a way that you can try and put something in and have it look good, but not be too flashy that it's going to be bad. And I think that Ascension's really found a way to do it. Get some nice passing plays, put in some fakes.
Cobras have hit each other. They're going to be out of rotation, but Bits... Oh, Frost Tiger gets back in time, and C's can't hit the ball! Frost Tiger comes back to make another save, another one stolen by the Rocket League game, as it's not given to him once again. And Frost Tiger with 5 saves this game, even though the game only gives him 3.
Oh no.
And is this it?
Oh no.
Are the Ascension going to find the back of the net? Of course they do. after another mistake.
Oh
no, and JD almost stole that. And Bits was almost there to make a save. Oh my goodness gracious, how tight this game is. This feels like a Season 11 game in the making, and we know that the Cobras were really strong last season. They were able to make reverse sweep comebacks. Let's see if they can make one tonight. We had one on Tuesday. Let's see if there's one tonight on Thursday.
Special Tuesdays. We're going to see if we need another server reset, but we definitely got to put into the mention that the Ascension really stepped on the gas right there. I believe we are going to get a new server, but the Ascension really stepped on the gas right there, and they made sure that the offense was on point. They were just shot after shot after shot, and eventually on the Cobra side of the field, no one was back in net, and there was a slow just bouncing in. It was a cross-field shot, and I think the speed was around 30 miles per hour. It wasn't really that good of a shot, but there was nobody there on the defense of the Cobras to do it. And if the Cobras could pick up that pace and try and put it so it was hard for them to save, and it's putting Ascension players out of their way, and they need to make sure that they're getting the ball and they're struggling to get to it, that's how you score. That's how you try and put on the pressure and make sure that people aren't able to get to the ball the same way that Ascension just did to them.
Yeah, and think about it. The Cobras had 10 saves that game. They, not counting, I had to add the extra 2 that Frost Tiger, that Rocket League didn't give to him. But yeah, Frost Tiger made 5 saves that game if you count the 2 extras there. And honestly, 10 saves and still losing that, especially in overtime. They had no offense in overtime. The offense just disappeared, dissipated, got Thanos snapped out of midair. The second that ball hit the ground at 0 and overtime started.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime where you see a player with 10 saves is a lot. We'd like to see more of that on the offense. Every time that there's a save, you know that there's also a shot coming on the other side. That means that there's at least 10 shots coming out from the Ascension side of the field. And if there's that many shots being put on you, you're under pressure. It's hard to get out of that habit, but you have to make sure that you're putting yourself in the offensive position. You have to try and keep up the pace. You have to try and beat them in speed as well as offense.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, we get game number 3 underway as we have the new server up, and hopefully Bits joins us at some point. Yay! We have been joined and blessed by Bits' appearance, and game number 3 is underway, and everyone seems to have the same stable ping of 40 to 60, except for C's, who has an 80 ping. But that shouldn't really matter to anyone unless he wishes to complain once again.
Yeah, definitely. Especially can't complain, especially after there's a goal being scored. Can't really do much about that. It's in the rule book, and all these players know that. But hopefully we don't see another immediate goal in the first couple seconds of the play before.
Oh, as you say that, that's gonna go in. Bits and Frost Tiger makes sure to hit Swift in the air here, so he can't make this save. Bits with an amazing flick, and Swift tries to get it, and Frost Tiger hits Swift in the air to stop him from making that save.
Well, I hope that there's no server issues now because they've sealed it in. The Cobras have given themselves an offense going. They've put in some shots. Bits being the best offensive player in the entire Major League, especially speaking off of fantasy. There's a lot of plays going on, but the Cobras have started to step up their pressure now, and we might see another comeback like you were talking about.
Hopefully we do. That'd be one heck of a story. That the season 11 Cobras that went 14-4, currently down 0-2, up against the season 11 10-8 Ascension, make a comeback against this team. But Sweet tries to flick it over. Bits says no. Swift is going to get it towards the back. Frost Tiger is the only man back. And C's makes the save there as he cut rotation. Frost Tiger.
A little bit of a mistake, but it worked either way. Those kind of mistakes are the hard thing to judge because they work either way. And if there's a little bit of mistake like that, I mean, the save probably would have been good either way, no matter which person was there to save it. And the little cut in rotation like that's going to tell us that they know that their chemistry is not as good as they think it is. And they're going to need to iron that out if they want to win this game. But they still do have the lead.
Yeah, it's just C's Pat statting. We know it. JD puts it in from his own zone. That's a long goal. And both Bits and I do believe this was C's tried to stop this, and they just could not. Instead, they stopped each other.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I say that, I immediately regret saying my words that they have the lead. Every time I say something, I feel like the other team has to come back and know that they got to score or something just to make me eat my words. Yeah, Caster's Curse. I believe in Caster's Curse indefinitely. I am the sole owner of Caster's Curse, and am the reason that the Cobras are going to lose, wink wink, this series.
Alright, well, JD, I think he's going to try and prove you right here as he tries to pass it over to Sweet. He wins that 50. That's going to go over to JD, but he's going to miss the ball. And that's going to allow Frost Tiger to clear it out and get it over to C's, but it's an interception by Swift. And is he going to be able to put it in? No, Bits puts it away. JD up over on the back wall. C's is going to collect that over to himself. Sweet intercepts. And he's going to try and pass it off of the back wall there. No, it's going to go off the ceiling and instead go onto Bits' hood.
A lot of this back and forth play. I love seeing it. Cobra is just putting the ball back into the side of the field of Ascension. The Ascension just passing it all the way back out. No team can keep the ball in for a certain amount of time. It's a very hard game to watch because it's a hard game to play. And it's a very back and forth type of action. It's almost like watching a game of ping pong where the ball is always on a different side of the field.
Yeah, exactly. While we watch this game of ping pong, I want to remind everyone, if you like the stream, please consider following us at RLPC. If you want to join the Discord area or are interested in joining a league, the server is Nightbot. We'll send it around from time to time. Speaking of Nightbot, we haven't seen a message from anyone in about 20 minutes in chat. Please, someone talk.
Speaking of someone talking, though, if you want to join the Discord server, maybe you're a little bit low rank, you also got a very big community here, and everybody loves to talk, and we love getting people involved, especially if they can't play. It's super fun league, and if you guys like it, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, exactly. Ed Boy talked! Let's go!
Always fun to see people talking.
Welcome to the best banter league in the league, in a Rocket League, I should say. Bits is gonna get a save after a shot from Sweet. Sweet shoots on his own net, and Swift needs to make the save there. That was close.
You know, this isn't looking too good for the Cobras side of the field. It's going to overtime once again, unless there's a miracle in these last 30 seconds with Bits passing the ball forward. It's going to go to overtime, and the Cobras' overtime record isn't that good.
No, it is not so far, and they need to prove us wrong here. They need to prove to us that they can play in overtime and that they can do something offensively, because I don't think they have a single shot in both overtimes combined.
Definitely. I mean, defense does win games. I've said that probably way too much, but you have to put on offense. You have to make sure you're getting the ball. You have to put it in the net. If the ball doesn't get put into the net, you're not going to win, and no matter if you save it 50 times or 100 times. If the ball's not getting put into the net, you're not winning the game, and it's just, you have to make sure that you're putting something in, especially in a game that's only decided by one goal.
Now, I do agree with you. Defense does win games, but normally it's because defense leads to offense. And so far, the defense from the Cobras in overtime has not led to any offense whatsoever. And mistakes like that rotation won't cause any offense. Sweet tries to put it in. Bit says no. Swift from up high. Can Frost Tiger stop it? Yes, he can. And Sweet keeps it in the zone. And yeah, those are some issues, which I'm surprised that they still have here, considering that this team has been playing together for many, many months. They have that chemistry together. I'm surprised that they still have issues like miss rotations, double commits, and hitting each other. And there's a shot that's going to go too high for a Rocket League to register a shot, so they still don't have a shot yet in this overtime.
The aerial shot. Always love to see some of those. Perfect for double taps in this league especially. We see quite a ton of those. But think it was Swift, might have been Swig. I believe it was Swig actually putting the double tap in last game and canceling out the opportunity for another server. But we're definitely waiting for another offensive play like that to come out and put a goal in. If you can get a goal in, especially on this Cobras record being this bad, they're seeing a lot more offense, and it's going to be much better. But we're also seeing a lot of double commits, and that's going to lead to bad defense.
We're seeing a lot of demos right now from the Cobras. They're trying to get Ascension off of their game, and they're trying to ruin their defensive rotations here. JD is going to try and put it off to the side here. Swift is going to get it first, and he's going to get it overseas. Can he get it over Bits? Yes, he can. He's going to win that 50. He's going to get it over Tiger, and JD is going to have the ball. He can't beat C's, though.
Yeah, he can never beat C's. I mean, he's part of the Triple S loadout. But we definitely see C's going for a crazy play right there. Gotta love crazy plays, but you also gotta get the team involved. There wasn't really a pass involved in that play, and the team really kind of watched it on defense as C's was able to just carry the ball. Everybody knew exactly what he was gonna do, and they weren't able to really be, I guess, surprised by the pass like a normal pass play turns out.
Now, 2.5 minutes have been played, and Edboy brings up a good point. You said you can stop it 50 times, you can stop it 100 times, but that won't cause any goals. What if you stop it 200 times?
Oh, if you stop it 200 times, that might just give you a goal. I'm just joking. Of course, it's not going to give you any goal. It's not going to win the game. It doesn't matter how much times you win the game. How much times you
I think it very much so does matter.
Yeah, it does. It does very much matter. You know, English is a very hard language to speak, especially for people in America, because we speak English and not American. Oh yeah, well, parlez-vous français? I'm just joking. We're gonna see a little bit more plays coming out from this team.
Spitz puts it in.
You know, I give up. Caster's Curse is just too hard. Okay, as I say that there's gonna be a little bit more plays. Bitch just wants to end my words. You know, I give up. That's the end of the game.
Tell that to them, not to us.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to start casting in French there because of you can't Caster's Curse if you're casting in French, can you? They don't understand you.
Definitely. You can't. No. Watch, you could be like, yo, Cobras, to Tem. Ah. I am very well versed in French, you know? Like, I take French class like every I don't know the last time I took French class.
I could probably get better French classes than whatever school you went to.
Hey, I'm still taking French, you know? I'm studying. It's hard. I may have gotten a C in the class, but you know, it's so the game, okay? Cobras heading into their comeback. We're seeing a lot more plays coming out from Cobras. We saw a little bit double commits. I think they ironed it out. We ended up seeing another overtime, but the Cobras were victorious over this one, and we got to see one more game going on. But not that the Cobras try and end the game just like last one. Hopefully it doesn't go to overtime. Actually, you know what? Hopefully it does go to overtime. I love seeing games go into overtime, but it's always hard and stressful for every team.
The only reason why I want this game to go to overtime and for the Cobras to win is to piss off our assassin over there.
You guys can't hear him, but we got a mad streamer over here. He's got a game at 8:30.
Wish him good luck, ladies and gentlemen, to make it on time to his game.
Ed boy, I want to see a lot of L's in the chat for Arc Assassin right now. You better put them in there for me, cause I can't.
Regardez-moi pour le stream français. Ben, bien sûr, Malum, je te garde, mon gars.
Baguette.
All right. That ball is going to go in off of Frost Tiger after Bits puts it off of the back wall there. Very well played by him. And Frost Tiger is just going to find that bouncing ball. And Sweet can't get up to it on time. And we get blinded by his nuke.
You know, we just ruined that clip. We were speaking in French. obviously us two French-speaking people, and just speaking in French, ruining that clip for an amazing goal coming out from the Cobras to give them another league.
Oui, tu parlais très très bien le français. Oui.
You just snot all over something.
Bits has the ball. He's in the midfield. He gets it over Swift. He's trying to get it off the back wall. He can't as JD intercepts that. Sees is going to get it off of his hood, and Frost Tiger puts it off of the corner wall over to Bits. Bits is going to put it up high. Frost Tiger is going to put it down for his teammate in Seas, but Seas goes backwards as he sees that Swift is going to clear it out. And that's what I like, is that Cobras can still read these plays really, really well, and they're doing pretty good to limit the amount of mistakes they make, as Seas makes a save there, and with the tip of his hood.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, that little bit more Caster's Curse finally coming from your side of the field. Speaking about reading those plays, we saw Frost Tiger just going up for a ball that he really shouldn't have. He knew he was going to lose the pressure on it, and if he would have stayed in net, it might have been a much better play for them to put him in a little bit of a defensive situation right there. But if we could see more plays coming out like that where they're able to read the ball, we're going to see more goals put up, but also we're going to see more thorough, thought-out plays coming from the Cobras side of the field. We're going to see some pass plays coming on, and hopefully a goal shot in at the end of the game.
Well, right now there is only one goal, and they only need one goal if they don't let another one in. That's pretty damn obvious from my perspective, but the Ascension are going to make it hard on them.
Yeah, Ascension's trying to make it hard on them. We got the almost triple S loadout trying to beat these Cobras players, trying to put on this pressure. They had so much pressure in the offense. We're seeing a lot of offense coming out from them. But the Cobras just reading that defense, just really going for the game. I think the Cobras are really trying to win this game, and almost...
Is that going to go in? Yes, it is! Frost Tiger absolutely blinds us with a white screen with his nuke there. And Sees with a beautiful pass here, and Frost Tiger getting the slowest goal of his life.
Oh, you gotta feel bad for Swig right there. Just a little bit of a misread play right there. Couldn't see the ball clearly and couldn't get to it fast enough. Should have turned a little bit more, but it leads to a 2-0 lead for the Cobras. This is their first 2-0 lead the entire series, and in such a very valid time.
And right there, you see right there that the Cobras have a 2-goal lead right there.
Yes, right there.
Right
I would
there.
love to, you know, right there. I love seeing plays like that right there. Yeah.
Why do you hate us so much, man?
You know, if you're gonna make a joke, you should at least unmute yourself from the stream so the viewers can hear.
What viewers? There's no one talking.
Dude, are you gonna disrespect my man Ed in the chat? That is very offensive. Ed, you know, I want more L's in the chat from that.
Well, he's gonna make it 3-0, and he's gonna make Assassin sweat here, as there's a bigger and bigger chance that we go to a game 5 right here.
Little bit of a mic eating contest going on right there. I think you won, Quantum, but we are gonna, I believe this is probably gonna end up going to a game 5, a 3-0 lead. Not much teams are able to come back from a 3-0 lead, and it ends up going to overtime most of the time that we've seen in this Cobra.
Oh
These
my
Cobras
goodness.
love overtime.
What a pinch! that pinch is the fastest pinch I think I've ever seen in my life, and somehow Swig and Swift are able to get there in time and make the save, just as Bits has. And look at the amount of saves on the end of the Cobras. They have 6 saves on 8 shots here for themselves, and that's a very good ratio. They've been doing absolutely astronomically great here. Right here. Astronomically, yes.
Hey, you're allowed to make mistakes on English.
Hey, don't worry. Do you not remember me first casting and I just couldn't pronounce anyone's names in English?
Yes, exactly.
JD, though, remembers how to score finally, as with 12 seconds left. It's too little too late, I think.
Remembers how to score. That's a bit harsh. We've seen JD throughout this game throughout the series been able to send some goals in. But man, that was a little bit. I mean, you had to throw in his amnesia right there. I mean, there's 12 seconds left, but there's not much you can do if you're on the Ascension side of the field right now. Just really hope for next game, start changing stuff up and try and change to adapt to the new Cobras team that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and this is gonna go over to the Cobras, and ball hits the ground to Assassin's wishes, and we're gonna see a game number 5 as Assassin gets late to his game.
Hopefully this goes into overtime and we get to see a forfeit come out. But I'm just joking. I love you, Assassin.
And you're calling me toxic.
I love you, Assassin. Don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, this would be a much more interesting game to watch in this major league game than to go play your own game. Everybody knows that a stream game is much more fun to see, and I'd love to see this game go to overtime just because of the sheer sweat that we're seeing go into this game. This is a really back and forth and hard to watch and play game, and I'm sure that these players are tired, especially Assassin being tired in the backside of this casting. But we're seeing a lot of plays come out, and it's going to be hard to keep up.
Exactly. Game number 5 underway, the last match of this series that we are going to see. Besides, this is the only game that we want to see, because who really wants to see a match being played from the 3 and 7 Titans?
I don't know. I would like to see that, you know? I would kind of like to see that. Seeing my friend Assassin be beat to death in a game would be very funny.
Well, he's been beaten to death 7 times.
I'm just joking, okay? You know, it's Caster's curse. It's Caster's curse. It's gonna work in reverse, remember? I am casting. You can't hear me? Oh, well, it's...
I mean, we can cast it. I can stream it.
Yeah, well, Quantum will cast it.
Yeah. Come on, let's do it.
Okay, back to the game. You know,
0-0, and it's been a game of ping pong. Frost Tiger off of the ceiling there, and that shot is going to go wide. So we've seen a lot of wide shots, and that's on purpose. And these are some really good utilizations that I like seeing, and it's only been these two teams I've really seen doing this. They're shooting to the side on purpose to try and get double and triple tap passes to their own teammates. And
that is
back wall, and it's been amazing to watch.
That is very amazing to watch. I love seeing those things. But also, you got to remember, sometimes you can also put it above or into the actual goal. If you put it into the actual goal, there's a pretty good chance it's going in, as long as there's no one there to stop it from going in. But you also got to remember that there's other ways to get goals. You can't just keep doing that constantly, or you're going to be read by the Cobras defense.
Or you're going to be read by the Ascension defense. Whichever one wins this game wins the series here. And remember how I said that the Cobras were known for reverse sweeping last season? Well, might they just do it once again?
No, you can't. They can't do it now. It's Caster's curse. It's impossible.
Well, 2 minutes and 47 seconds says otherwise, as Bit scores a goal and gives his team the lead. The reverse sweep is on.
I think I just double Caster's curse myself.
You just reverse Caster's curse.
No, but the thing is, Quantum said that they were gonna win, and I said that they weren't gonna win because of Caster's curse, and then immediately they scored a goal, so it was a double Caster's curse.
So you're the one who's cursing everything. So why don't you stop talking? And
Yeah, you know what? You just take over. I'm gonna drink my water and watch this amazing game play out.
All right, well, let me solo cast for the next minute or so while you drink some water audibly in your microphone.
Yes.
Sees keeps it in the Ascension zone for Frost Tiger. He's going to beat him, and JD's all alone in the net. He's going to stop that from being a pass to Bits, but Bits is going to find the back of the net there, and nothing you can do there if you're Swift or Swede. And that shot is just absolutely perfect on the end of Bits. It's 2-0.
I think Bits was just waiting for Arcane Assassin to be late to his game before he could actually start performing. That's the only logical reasoning behind this. Bits is really showing off what it takes to be the #1 player in Major Leagues right now. I mean, that fake was insane. That was a very nice play right there, leading to another goal. I don't care if that was stolen or not. That is a clip and a half. I'd love to see that coming out from Bits. Wow. I really do think that this is going to be a very interesting game. We might see some plays coming out from Ascension. They have 2 minutes left to score it, and it's going to be a very hard one at that, but it's still possible.
It is still possible, but Frost Tiger with a save there, as Swift is going to try to pass it to JD. Does he remember how to score? No, he doesn't. It goes off the post.
Hey, you can't talk about my man's amnesia in front of him, okay?
Sorry, it's not my fault he has Alzheimer's. Jeez.
Hey, that is not nice to say, okay? We can say that off stream. Okay. No offense, Jay.
He goes and scores his fourth goal. His team's fourth goal this game. He scores his first this game, and everyone for the Cobras has scored. This is the first 4-goal lead we see this series, and tonight actually in all 3 games, I do believe in all 2 series so far, we have not seen a 4-goal lead. We've seen it now, and we're seeing that the Cobras are going for the reverse sweep here. It just Ascension have crumbled once again, and they're going to lose their 5th straight game if they don't score 4 goals in the next 73 seconds. Starts off with 1. With 72 seconds to go, they only need 3 goals now, which took the Cobras 3 minutes-ish to score. So let's see if they can do that in a minute or less.
You know, speaking of things we haven't saw, something that we haven't saw this game is Ascension coming up with plays. We saw a little bit, we saw a goal coming out from Swift, but we saw a lot of plays in the very beginning coming out from JD, Swag especially. We saw a lot of plays coming out from Swag, and Swag right now has 50 points. He's a little bit underperforming for his team. We saw some goals coming out from JD too. Ascension was really showing off what they could do in those first couple games. And right now they're really lacking.
Cobras are 4 for 5 on their shots, and Ascension don't have a single save so far. So that's something else that's missing. Not only did they forget how to score up until 72 seconds left in the game, they also forgot how to save the ball.
Yeah, that's always harsh to realize, but that could always be a little bit of a game changer. It can be a little bit depressing whenever you're playing the game and then you start to lose, especially when you're such a big lead.
Oh my goodness, 5 goals and 6 shots, and one of those shots went off the post.
Oh man.
My goodness. Still no saves for Ascension in this game, as that 106-kilometer-an-hour long shot goes in.
Kilometers? This is America. We say 46 miles per hour, okay?
Rocket League is based in Europe.
Hey, it says you can switch the thing. It goes from kilometers to the right system, you know?
It goes from really smart units to Eagle units.
Yes, waffles.
Freedom Eagle.
Waffles and length of flags.
Well, that's a GG's, ladies and gentlemen. Swig and JD don't even say they're GG's. Swift just says well played, and probably going to take his swift leave right after this.